Welcome to Viral Recaps. Today I'm going to explain a thriller movie called The Purge from 2013. Spoilers incoming. Let's get right into it. In the year 2022, America, one of the greatest countries in the world, finally solved the age-old problem of humanity: violence and crime. With so many employed citizens and an unemployment rate of less than 1%, the world was a perfect place. That is until the people started rebelling and complaining about too much peace. They needed violence. To avoid unnecessary protests and civil wars, the American government created an annual event called The Purge. The Purge is an event that permits all crimes, including murder, to be completely legal for 12 hours straight every year. They think it's safer to allow people to release all the pent-up energy they've been keeping inside for so long. On a bright Monday, James Sandin, a successful salesman at a security systems company, returns home to his family after a successful day at work. He was just promoted to being the top salesman at a multi-million-dollar company and couldn't wait to share the good news with his family. James arrives home and meets his lovely wife, Mary, making dinner. He gives her a welcome kiss and they share a brief conversation. Mary tells him about their 18-year-old daughter, Zoe, sulking over the breakup with her deadbeat adult boyfriend, Henry. James thinks it's better to just let her be an adult and get over it on her own. In the meantime, Zoe is seen in her room making out with Henry. Apparently, they didn't break up at all. She hears her dad coming in the corridor and tells her boyfriend he has to go before he sees them. As it turns out, James is highly unsupportive of their relationship because Henry is too old and jobless. About 30 minutes before the beginning of the purge, Mary hangs some blue flowers outside their house to show support for the event. Her jealous neighbor, Grace, comes by to give her some cookies and shares some neighborhood gossips. It's revealed that James sold a lot of his security systems to the neighbors and made a ton of cash from it. This makes them jealous of James' success and wish they hadn't bought the systems. Mary isn't ready to put up with BS, so she just takes the cookies, thanks Grace, and gets back inside to finish cooking dinner. On getting to the kitchen, she gets jump-scared by her son's half-destroyed toy robot. Thankfully, the robot is harmless, so she just calls Charlie, her son, to come out of his secret hiding spot and help with setting up the table. When he gets downstairs, Mary notices he's worried over the purge and tells him to focus on the good things it does for America. The Sandins have dinner a few moments later and James gets his chance to share the good news about his promotion. Mary and the kids congratulate their father and continue eating their dinner. Charlie reminds his dad to check the time. They are just a few minutes away from 7 p.m., the official time of the beginning of the purge. They finish dinner and go to the control room for the security system to lock their house down. James checks his weapon stash and takes a gun just in case. Then, he enters the security code and metal shields close all openings of the house. Once the timer hits 7 p.m., the emergency broadcast is aired to warn the U.S. citizens that the purge has officially begun and would be on for the following 12 hours. All weapons and crimes are allowed and emergency services would be unavailable till 7 a.m. Zoe gets to her room and Charlie gets back to his secret spot. Up in her room, Zoe gets jump-scared by her boyfriend. She asks him what he's doing here and Henry says he wanted to surprise her. In the meantime, James does some of his paperwork while listening to the Purge podcast. Meanwhile, Mary's busy doing some cardio. The next scene throws us back to the young couple, where Henry's wiener is struggling to function properly. Zoe asks what's bothering him and he confesses that she's not the real reason why he came back to her house. He tells her he wants to speak with her father and clear things out so that he finally approves their relationship. In the meantime, Charlie continues roaming around the house with his robot. He navigates it to his father's office and zooms into the TV to watch the Purge podcast. Just as Mary finishes her workout, she hears some gunshots in the neighborhood and quickly checks the monitors with her husband. They see nothing interesting, but Charlie spots a wounded civilian running around their street begging for help. With little to no hesitation, the boy gets out of his secret spot and rolls up the shields to let the stranger in. James hears this and quickly rushes to roll them down again. Then, he sees Charlie at the front door with the bloodied stranger and demands an explanation. At the same time, Henry comes down to talk with James, but pulls out a gun and tries to shoot him instead. Thankfully, James quickly fires back, and unlike Henry, he lands his shot and wounds him. Zoe panics and drags Henry up the stairs. Unfortunately though, the stranger used the chance to hide somewhere and now they have no idea where he is nor what he's capable of. James calms his family down and sets off to find Zoe. He goes to search for her in her room, but only finds Henry's lifeless body there. Mary hears Zoe calling for them, so she ends up finding her instead and tries to calm her down. They're facing a much bigger problem than all of that though. Charlie calls his mom to the control room to see a huge group of purging freaks in masks gathering outside their front door. James comes back to the control room just in time to hear what the leader of the group has to say. He removes his mask and politely informs the Sandins that they will face severe consequences if they continue to give shelter to his target. Turns out that's the group that was hunting the stranger. Then he continues, saying that he'll spare their lives if they just give him his target back. Otherwise, he warns to tear the house down and kill everyone. He ends his little speech by cutting the house power down. James says they have to find the stranger and force him back outside. Charlie protests against it, but his dad tells him they don't have a choice. Then he leaves them in the control room and goes to search for the intruder. While his dad's searching the house, Charlie does just the same by using his robot. He finds him hiding in the kitchen and guides him to the secret spot in his room. Zoe finds Charlie's robot and talks to it, saying she'll hide in the secret spot. This kid makes total disasters one after another. As expected, a few moments later James walks to the same secret spot and finds the stranger holding Zoe at gunpoint. He tries to talk some sense into his head, but it's not working out as the guy's not eager to die tonight, but let's be honest, can't blame him for that. They end up wrestling on the ground and James manages to knock him out. Then, he tells Mary to get some duct tape and help with tying down the stranger. While they're preparing to throw the man out of the house, Mary's emotions get the best of her and she tells her husband they can't behave that way with an innocent human being. After seeing how much their own kids are traumatized by their behavior, they decide to let the man stay in the house. At the very next moment, the freaks announce the time is up and they're done waiting. Their equipment arrives and they tie all the shields to their trucks with chains. James gives his family guns and tells the kids to hide somewhere safe. The leader of the group makes a final announcement, apologizing for all the horrors that are about to happen. Then they rip all the shields off the house and enter inside from various places. Meanwhile, the stranger does his best to free himself from the chair. With the freaks now running freely in the house, James and Mary hide out of sight to surprise and take them down one by one. One of the freaks finds Charlie and pulls him out of his hiding place. Luckily, James kills the intruder just in time. Zoe's also in trouble as she nearly gets caught while hiding under her bed. Coming back to James, he manages to shoot one guy down, but a few moments later he spots a couple and this time fails to blast them. An intense fight breaks out and he almost gets executed with an axe. Eventually, he manages to kill them both. Just then he's surprised by yet another one, but manages to kill him as well. As he's walking back to the corridor, the leader stabs him with a machete. He lays James down to slowly face his death and thanks him for the satisfying hunt. He then heads out to search for the rest members of his family. Mary's also in trouble as yet another couple takes her down and starts molesting her. Just then, the neighbors come to the rescue and shoot them. Eventually, they take down all the intruders and everything seems to be coming to an end. Mary finds her dying husband laying on the stairs and Charlie joins them. The leader appears out of nowhere to deliver the finishing blow to the entire family. However, Zoe manages to shoot him. The family thanks their neighbors for saving them. Unfortunately though, they say they only did it because they're the ones who want to kill them instead. Just as they're about to begin torturing Mary and the kids, the stranger appears and saves them. He then tells Mary she decides their fates and waits for her call. She's too soft to act like them, so she spares their lives and says they'll all wait in peace till 7 a.m. A few minutes before 7 a.m., Mary stares at everyone in disgust and nervously watches the clock. Grace makes one final attempt to kill her, but gets her nose broken and her face smashed into the table instead. When it's finally 7 a.m., she throws the neighbors out of her house and thanks the stranger before he leaves as well. In the final moments of the movie, emergency services are up again and news report from all over the country how successful the 2022 Purge event was due to the massive amount of dead bodies scattered all across the country. Hey, if you enjoyed this recap, Please consider subscribing and leaving a like as it helps the channel a lot. Thanks for watching and take care.